everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this cow amigurumi that is the cutest thing ever. I had so much fun making this thing, and yeah, it turned out fabulous for anybody who loves cows, anybody in Wisconsin who is from Dairyland like me. I just think this is so funny. Any farmer would love this idea. So it's a cute project for anybody. So I'll get into the supplies and then we'll get into making this piece. It's so simple, using a lot of single crochet stitches. So big huge thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing all the yarn for this project today. I'm using white, black, pink, and golds. Now gold is optional, it's just for the nose ring, but all these three colors at least, pink, white, and black. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver. The black is with love, it's a little softer, but you can use Super Saver for that. So any acrylic white and black yarn, super simple, that you would make any amigurumi with. And you're going to be needing some polyfill because we are going to stuff this piece. So I just have a small amount here, but you can grab some polyfill. We're going to need a lot more than this to stuff the head, the snout, the arms, and the body of this piece. But the udders and the ears and these spots obviously are no stuffing needed. I am going to be using safety eyes, which I have this pack of safety eyes I got on Amazon. So I'm just using the plain black ones. Sorry, there's a green one in there, but there's a plain black here, but there's all different kinds here. I'll link this specific pack in the description of this video so you can get multiple different types of safety eyes, but I just used the plain black ones for this cow. And also, we are going to be crocheting this piece with a G-size crochet hook. This crochet hook specifically is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. It's, hand-carved, ergonomic. It's a wooden handled hook, and it is very lightweight, and it is carved to the like your palm of your hand. So when you're crocheting for a long period of time and pieces like this cow, it's really nice to crochet and not feel a hand cramp or anything like that. You can choose your favorite hook, boy or bait, and they're fixed into the handle. There's international shipping, right-handed, left-handed hooks, all that good stuff. And if you don't see what you're looking for, you can contact the shop and there are custom orders available for no extra charge, so that's awesome. And that's Would Be Fancy on Etsy. Also, the other supplies we're going to use are a scissors and a yarn needle to cut our yarn, sewing a lot of pieces together. And I have this extra piece of yarn here for my stitch marker. If you have a legit stitch marker, use a legit stitch marker, but this is a cheap stitch marker option. We are working in continuous rounds for this piece. So you can see we're working in a spiral in a lot of the pieces. So it's just nice to have a stitch marker to mark our rounds. So that's about it. So those are all the supplies you're going to need. This cow measures about 8 inches tall, so it is pretty large. I mean, if it's, look at my hands, I mean, it's pretty large. It's a pretty cute stuffed toy. You can use this for babies or anybody who loves cows. So that is all the information. All of the information and links to all of these supplies are in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube. They're in the materials you will need section on the blog. So if you go to YARNutopia.com and search for cow amigurumi, this will come up and you can see all the supplies you will need and the written pattern for free on my website. So that is everything. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for the yarn. Big thank you to my dad who's over my shoulder this entire tutorial filming this so you can get into the stitches and where you need to go, and I hope that you learned something in this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get started and make this cow amigurumi. Alright, we're going to start off by making the body first. So let's start off with white yarn and make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down and then pull your long end through and pull tight, and then you can insert your hook and we can begin. So to start off, we are going to chain 2. Now if you wanted to start with the magic ring, you can go right ahead and do that, but we're going to chain 2 here, yarn over, pull through, 1 and 2. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to put 6 single crochet. So go into that second chain right there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. So go back into that same chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. There's 2, here's 3, here's 4, 5, and 6. Now we are going to be working in continuous rounds, so let me grab a stitch marker. I don't have actually like a legit stitch marker, but I have this like piece of yarn that I'm going to stick in there so it shows me where the beginning of my rounds are. And going on to round 2, I stuck my stitch marker there, that's the beginning of the round. Going into this first stitch here, if you have to count back 6 stitches, do that and go into the first stitch. And for round 2, we are putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So right in here, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go back into that same stitch and make another single crochet. Then hop to the next stitch and make 2 single crochets in there. And do that in each stitch around. So at the end of round 2, you will have 12 single crochets. So let me just continue here. You can just continue watching. We can go on to round 3 next. I just have to move my stitch marker up. Let's see here. Alright. And if you need to, count back 12, so you make sure you have your 12 stitches. Alright. Move that stitch marker up. Going on to round 3, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch right here. So my stitch marker is kind of hiding it, but you see it there. Put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch right here. Just 1. And then repeat. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 1, and then just repeat that sequence all the way around. You'll have 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. I'll do that and then I'll be right back. Alright, I have my 18 stitches around. Moving my stitch marker up, we can go on to round 4. So in round 4, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch right here. 1 and 2, and then just put 1 single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. So 1 in this stitch, and then 1 in this next stitch. Okay, and then repeat that whole sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. 1 and 1. Okay, so at the end of round 4, you'll have 24 single crochets around, so just repeat that sequence and I'll be right back. Alright, going on to round 5, I'm moving my stitch marker up. I have 24 stitches around right now. We are going to increase again, so in this first stitch, you can see it behind my stitch marker here. Going into that first stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, and then put 1 single crochet in each of these next 3 stitches. So in this stitch, 1, next stitch is another 1, and the next stitch right here is just another 1. And now repeat that sequence from the beginning to here all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then repeat. And do that all the way around. At the end of round 5, we will have 30 stitches around, and then we just have 1 more increase for round 6, so I'll be right back. Alright, I just finished round 5. I have 30 stitches around. Moving my stitch marker up right here, we're going on to round 6. Let's put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches for this round. So I'll count here. 1, next stitch is 2, next stitch is 3, and the next stitch is 4. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. At the end of round 6, we will have 36 single crochets around, and that is how big of an increase I want to do on this body. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you round 7 next. Alright, so we increased to the amount that we want, so now we are done increasing. I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and all we are going to do now for rounds 7 through 21 is just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, working in continuous rounds. So if you need to move your stitch marker up each round, that's fine, but just do rounds 7 through 21, and if you want to make your body a little taller or shorter, just do more or less rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So it's very simple, just getting the height of the body that we need. So I'm going to do that. Once I finish round 21, I will come back and show you the decrease. Alright, I just finished round 21 here, so this is what your work should look like. I left my stitch marker, but I can kind of see kind of matching my stitches where my row started and ended, and that's what it looks like. So now we are going to start to close this top a little bit, not all the way, but just enough to get it's stuffed and attached to the head when we make the head next. So moving my stitch marker, I'm just going to take my stitch marker out and put it here, and moving on to round 22, we are going to put a single crochet decrease here. So what we're going to do is go into this first stitch here. We're going to single crochet these next 2 stitches together. Okay, so go into this first stitch. My stitch marker is kind of hiding it. Yarn over, pull through, then go directly into the next stitch right away, and then yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that is a single crochet 2 together stitch or a single crochet decrease. In my pattern it's SC2TOG. So now we are going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, just a regular single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we are going to repeat that sequence from here to here all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just repeat then all the way around. So at the end of round 22, you will have 30 stitches once again. So we are just decreasing. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back. Alright, back to the beginning where my stitch marker is. There we go, I have 30 stitches around. Moving the stitch marker up, we're going to decrease again. So let's single crochet these first 2 stitches together. So go into this first stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches for this round. So 1, next stitch 2, and the next stitch 3. Okay, so we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So, sorry, my angle was a little off there. Single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. At the end of round 23, you'll have 24 stitches around. So I'll do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, I have 24 stitches around. You can see it's starting to close up here. We are going to decrease again for round 24 here, moving our stitch marker up. We are going to single crochet these first 2 stitches together, and then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches for this round. So 1 in here and 1 in here. And then repeat that sequence, and it's going to start to close up pretty tightly here. So let's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then repeat. At the end of round 24, you'll have 18 stitches. I'll do that and I'll be right back. Alright, this next round is our last round. We are going to decrease down to 12 stitches. Now if you wanted to kind of pull your hook out and get the rest of your pieces made and stuff this before doing the last round, it is going to be kind of tight. You can do the last round later after all your pieces are attached, and then you can stuff this and do the last round and close it all up. But I'm going to just show you this right now, and then I'll attach my pieces later. So I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and we are going to single crochet 2 together. So go into that first stitch, then the next stitch, and single crochet those 2 stitches to be 1, and then just single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and repeat that sequence then all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, single crochet 2 together, and single crochet in the next stitch. It's going to get super difficult, super tight, so just be aware. That's why I said you can do this last round later if you want to, once your pieces are all attached and your piece is stuffed and everything, but I'm just going to do it now. Save time for filming, but for you, you can do it at your own, on your own. Alright, I'm at the last here. We should have 12 stitches at the end of this round, and I'm just doing my last stitch right here. And then when you're done with the body, you could just go into this first stitch right here and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through and through. To fasten off, I like to chain 1, and we are going to cut our yarn long for sewing, and then pull it all the way through that chain 1 there. Pull tight. You can remove your stitch marker. Okay, and there's your body. Now I'll stuff mine later once I have all my pieces attached. So this is just the body, so I'm going to set this aside and we will start making the other pieces next. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to be showing you the head next, and you can see here I have already a piece made. Don't worry, we're not skipping any steps here. I just want to show you this is actually rounds 1 through 5 of the body. Okay, so just if you need to rewind this video to see rounds 1 through 5 of how we created the body, and increase from rounds 1 is 6 stitches, round 2 is 12 stitches, round 3 is 18 stitches, round 4 is 24 stitches, and then round 5 is 30 stitches. So make sure to increase to 30 stitches for the head. We are working on the head now. And once you have rounds 1 through 5 finished, increased to 30 stitches around, come back and we can go on to round 6 next. So I'm going to just continue this because this is exactly the same part as the body, where we just repeat rounds 1 through 5. So now, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you next for the head, round 6 through 15, we are just going to single crochet around. So the increase is complete at this point, so I'm going to move my stitch marker here. And rounds 6 through 15, we're just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around to make the height of the head. So I am going to do that at this point, just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and then once I finish round 15 of the head, I will come back and I'll show you we're going to decrease for round 16. Alright, I just finished round 15 of the head, so this is what your piece should look like at this point. So I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and we are going to decrease now for closing the bottom part. So if you grab the body here, you'll see that this will connect. Once we decrease, this will connect to this part here. So that's kind of how we're going for our body and head. So how we're going to do this, like I said, stick the stitch marker in there. We are going to single crochet 2 together. So I showed you how to do that in the body. So single crochet 2 together. And for this round, let's see here, this is round 16, we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then repeat that sequence all the way around. We're going to decrease down to 24 stitches for this round. So it's very similar to round 23 of the body. So just single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And like I said, you'll have 24 stitches at the end of round 16. So I'll do that, and I'll come back and show you round 17. Alright, I have 24 stitches around, moving my stitch marker up, going on to round 17. It's basically a repeat of round 24 of the body. We're just going to decrease down to 18 stitches. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then repeat that sequence all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. And then, like I said, you'll have 18 stitches at the end of round 17. I'll do that, and then we'll decrease one last time for round 18. Alright, just finishing round 17 here, moving my stitch marker up, we can go on to our last round of the head. We are going to decrease down to 12 stitches. Let me get my stitch marker situated here. Alright, let's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So basically repeating round 25 of the body. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. And at the end of this round, you will have your 12 stitches, and that's the last round for this piece. So I'll do that, and then we can fasten this head off and go on to the next piece for the cow. Alright, just finished with my last round there. We are going to go into this next stitch and slip stitch and fasten off. So chain 1, and you can cut your yarn long if you need to for sewing. I know the body we cut a long strand for sewing, so I might not use this, but I'm just going to cut it long for protection later. So this is the head, and they're not stuffed, but this is the body so far. So now let's work from the bottom up, because that's just how we're going to do that in this tutorial. You can work whatever pieces you want, but we are going to start with the legs next. So I am going to set both of these pieces aside, grab some black yarn, and we'll start with the legs. Alright, for the legs, we are going to start with black yarn, and we're going to make a slip knot. Okay, and then we are going to insert our hook, and we're going to be repeating rounds 1 and 2 of the body. So chain 2, or you can start with a magic ring if you wanted to. Put 6 single crochets in that second chain from the hook, and I know it's very difficult to see black yarn, so if you want to use brown instead, because some cows have brown instead of black. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. Now we are going to be working in those continuous rounds, so I'm going to stick my stitch marker in here, and we are going to put, for round 2, 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So go to this first stitch here, 1 and 2, I know it's super difficult to see my stitches with black, but don't worry, I'm going to change to white in just a few minutes here. Putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around for round 2, so I'll have 12 single crochets at the end of round 2, and then round 3, that's our increase, that's it. We're not increasing anymore for the leg. So for round 3, we're still continuing with black. I'm going to move my stitch marker up. We're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So no increasing for round 3. Just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around with the black yarn. And then at the end of this round, I'll show you we're going to fasten off this color, and then I will switch to white. So it's basically like the hoof is black for the cow. So, like I said, though, you can use brown if you want to. Alright, so I'm coming back to the beginning here. And like I said, I'm going to fasten this off. So what I did for just like the head and the body, I'm just going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through for a slip stitch, chain 1, and then I'm going to just cut my yarn, and you can cut it short and just pull it through and pull tight. Okay, now we're going to insert our hook right into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. Okay, and I'm going to grab some white yarn, hook that on, pull it through, and if you need to chain 1 to secure it, you can, just like that. And we can go on to rounds 4 through 15. There's no increasing or anything, it's just with white yarn. We're just single crocheting around and working in continuous rounds. So I'll show you. I'm working a little faster now because this is just single crochets. It's super simple. And with this leg, it's only 12 stitches around. So I'm just working a little faster so you can see going on to the next round. And then I'll leave you be to do the rest of the leg because it's just a single crochet in each stitch. So now I'm back to the beginning. Hide this black strand here into the inside. Go into our first single crochet stitch and just single crochet in there. Just like that. And sure, you will have this little nick here, this little like color change, but you can sew this leg on to your body, or yeah, onto the body with that being on the underside, so nobody will see that. And I'll show you that later. So we're just working the rest of these rounds, however long you want your legs to be. I am going to go up until I hit round 15, and once I've hit round 15, we can fasten this off. Alright, I just finished round 15 of this leg, so we're just going to slip stitch into this next stitch and fasten this off. So pull through and pull through, chain 1, cut your yarn long for sewing because we'll sew this to the body. Pull that through that chain 1, pull tight. You can get rid of your stitch marker if you have one. And all you need to do is just make 3 more of these, so you have 4 legs in total, and then we're going to stuff them with some polyfill. And at this point, if you wanted to stuff your body and start attaching your pieces as you go, that's totally cool, which I'm probably going to do at this point now that the legs are created. So I, off camera, did a little bit of work and sewed on 3 of my legs right here. So I have the body, I stuffed it, and now I sewed on the 3 other legs, and now we're going to sew on this leg. I'm just going to show you. It looks like chicken. Doesn't it? It kind of looks like a chicken. Okay. We're gonna sew this on, so let's grab our yarn needle. And we're just whip stitching this. This is super simple. We're just taking the long strand that we cut off the leg, yarn the needle with that strand, and then position it where you want your legs to be. So you can see here, I want my cow to sit like this. Dude, it totally looks like a chicken right now. I have on the second to last row, I sewed these two, so they're kind of facing forward. This is going to be the front. We're going to put the udders here and a couple spots here. So I'm going to kind of position this on this side, just like that. And then we're going to do some surgery. We're just going to go around. I'm going into the body and then in through both layers of the leg. Just like that. And then we're just going to go to the next stitches on the body and the next stitches on the leg. And we're just going around and around. So simple. Okay. And then I'll show you how I fasten this off once I get to the very end here. There we go. Okay, that was my last stitch. See how nice and clean that looks? That looks great. So now I'm going to go around one more time here. I'm going to keep my finger in this loop while I pull. And then I'm going to come back through this loop and then pull tight. And that creates a knot. Secure. Okay, and you can do that once or twice. So again, go through some of the stitches, keep your finger in the loop, come back through the loop, and pull. And then we can hide this end inside of the leg or the body. Just pull and then cut any extra that might be there. Stretch it out, make sure it looks good. Sew your other three legs on, and that's, oh my gosh, it's sitting up on its own. How cute. Okay. So now, our headless cow. So now I'm going to show you the udder, and then we'll make some spots, and then we'll be able to make the pieces for the head and attach our head. But so far, this is what your piece should look like. So let me grab my pink yarn here, and we will make the udder next. Alright, so again, we're not skipping any steps. I just have this piece. Remember when we created the body for this cow, the first 4 rounds, it's exactly the same for the udder part. So this is just part of the udder. It's not the full udder. It's just the base, I guess. So this is just a goofy project. So if you want to do 24 stitches around, so the first round is 6, the second round is 12, the third round is 18, and then the last 4th round is 24 stitches around. So that's what I have here. Now if you wanted to increase to 30 stitches and have a bigger base for your udder, that's totally cool. You can do that as well. So we're just going to be attaching this here, but I think that the 24 stitches around is big enough for my cow. So we're going to fasten this off. Now, if you need to get a reminder on how to make this, just rewind this to the first 4 rounds of the body in the beginning of this tutorial. So I'm just going to fasten this off now with a long tail. So we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch here, yarn over, pull through and through, and then we're going to chain 1, cut our yarn long for sewing, and then pull it through that chain 1. And pull tight, okay? But now we have to make the actual udders on this. So I have the pink yarn here, and to make the actual udders, you have to make 4. I'm just going to show you 1, but you can make 4 of them. And we are going to make a slip knot. You can start with a magic ring if you'd like to, and we're going to chain 2. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Chain 2, and then we're going to put 4 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So go into the second chain here. Oh my goodness, there we go. And make 4 single crochets. So this is going to be pretty small and a pretty tight stitching. So if you can't see what I'm doing, just follow with the written instructions on YARNutopia.com. But I'm just putting 4 single crochets in this second chain from the hook here. Okay, there we go. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to work in continuous rounds, and it says rounds 2 and 3, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So round 2, we're going to go into this first stitch. It's going to be quite difficult to get in there. Let's try, see, there we go. Just putting 1 single crochet, so no increasing. Sorry, my hand is in the way. There we go. 1. Up to the next stitch here. Just putting 1 single crochet. It is quite tight here. There we go. There's our second one. This is just round 2. Round 3 will be a little easier, I think. But we gotta make these udders. I think I'm making 4. You can make as many udders as you want. I don't know how many udders does a cow have? My dad's over my shoulder saying that there's more udders than 4. I'm gonna Google this after I make these udders. But these are just silly. I'm laughing through this whole project, you guys. Making a cow is so funny. Oh my god. Okay, so there's round 2. I'm going to do round 3 off camera because it's getting pretty difficult here. We're just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around for round 3 as well. Once I finish round 3, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, I just finished round 3 here. I'm going to go into this next stitch here and slip stitch to fasten this off. So chain, or slip stitch here and then chain 1 to fasten off. We're going to cut our yarn kind of long for oh my goodness, for sewing. So I'm going to cut my yarn and I'm going to pull it through that chain 1 there and then pull tight. Okay, so and then this inside piece, you can either stuff it into the little piece or just cut it short and it'll be hidden in there. So now you have to make 3 more because obviously somebody over my shoulder thinks that there's 5 udders on a cow, but there's only 4. I googled it. So I have these 3 attached already to that piece that we made first. So make 4 udders and we're going to sew them onto this piece like this. I know it looks so funny. Oh my goodness, this is the funniest project. So now we're going to sew this on. So I'm going to show you how to sew this one on, and then you can sew the rest on according to this little diagram here. So we're going to center it between these ones, just like that. So each quarter, I guess, it's going to have each quarter of this circle is going to have an udder, and you can just go into the base just like that, and then we're just going to come back out a stitch and go out a stitch on that piece, and then we're going to go to the next stitch on our udder and go into the base just like that. My stomach is grumbling. I'm so hungry. We're going to take a break soon. And then we're going to come back through and through. Just like that. And then we're going to end on the inside. So we're going to go back into the base. Okay, kind of position these udders so they look like actual udders. Oh my god, that is so funny. And then to fasten this piece off, what I did with the other 3 is just went underneath a few of the stitches like this, kept my finger in the loop, and then came back through the loop and then pulled tight. And you can do that once or twice, just like that, and then cut that shorter. That'll be hidden behind this piece. So now we have all 4 udders attached, all 4 quarters there. Oh my goodness. Now we can attach this to the base of our body. I think I want to attach it like this. So all we're going to do is just go in and out of the body, and I'll start it off here, but fasten off the same way I showed you, and I'm going to just attach this, just hide these strands behind the base. Okay, position it where you want it. okay, on the lower half here, kind of between the bottom two legs. And then we're going to go into the body and then out the next stitch and out this stitch here. Okay, then in and out, just like that. Now if you did not stuff your body yet, you can use your finger on the inside and kind of guide through the needle how you need it to be, but I didn't. I stuffed my body, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and hope for the best, but just make sure it's kind of even, like the two on top and then the two on bottom, like that. Okay, just so it's square with the way that a cow is shaped. I ended up Googling things about cows and I learned quite a bit. They have 4 udders. Okay, I'm gonna sew this on and then I'll be right back. Alright, I just finished here. I sewed it all the way around, so now I'm gonna fasten off here, just like I showed you earlier. Just keeping my finger in the loop, coming back through the loop, and pulling tight. Okay, and then we can hide this end underneath and into the body. Actually, I'm gonna stab this cow. Oh my gosh. There we go. Getting that hidden, and then cut any extra, and then tighten it, stretch it out. Make sure this is all looking like udders. Okay, now I want to make a few spots, then we're done with the body. So I have a few spots already made. I'm just going to show you. We did in black, I did rounds 1 and 2. Okay, so 6 and 12. So that's rounds 1 and 2 of the body, or 1 and 2 of the udder, or rounds 1 and 2 of the arm, whichever one you want to copy from. That is how we did the spots, and you can make as many of these as you want. So we're just making these circles, and I'm going to put one here and one here. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put maybe one here and one here on the back. I have to make another one. So I'm going to do that, and then we can just sew them on exactly how we sewed on the udder piece. Okay, so very simple. I'm not even going to show how to do this. Don't worry, I'm not skipping steps. Just rewind this video if you need to. Follow along with rounds 1 and 2 of the arm or the body or whatever with black. So round 1 is 6 stitches, round 2 is 12 stitches, fasten off with a long tail, and sew these onto the body, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just attached the spots here and here. So that is what the body looks like. So now we're done with the whole body section. So now I'm going to set this aside, and we are going to work on the head piece now. We have to make the ears and the snout, add the nostrils and the nose ring, and then I have safety eyes actually for the eyes. So let's set this body aside, and I'm going to start with the snout because that is going to be pink snout here. And we're going to start with a slip knot. Okay, let me get this all situated here so we have a clean area. And we are going to insert our hook and we can begin. So for the snout, it says to chain 9. So yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across here. So I like to turn my chain towards me and go into that second chain. So 1, 2 right in there. Go in the back. I like to work in those back ridges there, right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, single crochet across. So go into this next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Working in a chain is always more difficult than going on to the next row or the next round. So I'm almost done here. Just continue watching. We're actually going to work on the opposite side of our foundation chain as well, working in rounds. So I'm almost done here. In the last chain, you want to actually put 3 single crochets. So I have 1 chain left right here. We're going to go into there and make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to turn this around, so you can kind of see I was working like this, turning it this way. So now we're going to work along the edge of our foundation here. So this is our first stitch, so just skip that because our 3 single crochets are worked into there. So go to this next stitch right here, and working at the bottom there looks like a stitch. So then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We're just going to single crochet across. Okay. It's going to be kind of tough there because it is the base of our foundation chain. And in the last stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets because there's 1 single crochet worked in there already. So we're going to put 2 in the last stitch so that there's 3 stitches in there. And I'll show you when I get there. But for those of you who crochet pretty fast, you can move ahead. Okay, so there's 1 stitch left. And you can see the first stitch is worked in there, so we're going to put 2 single crochets in there. Oops, lost my loop. So 1 and 2. So now it looks like there's 3. 1, 2, 3 stitches worked in there, okay? So you can see here, you should have 18 stitches around. Okay, so if you need to count, make sure you have 18 stitches around. I am going to stick my stitch marker in here. We're working in continuous rounds. And for rounds, let's see, snout, rounds 2 through 4, we are only going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So go to this very first stitch. If you need to count back 18, do that. And my first stitch is right there. So I'm just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch around for rounds 2, 3, and 4. And that's the snout. If you want to do more rounds, you can make it more of a protruding snout, but I liked when I ended at round 4, so I'm going to do that. And then once I finish round 4, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, just finished round 4 here, so this is what the snout looks like. I'm just going to slip stitch into this next stitch and fasten off with a long tail for sewing. So just chain 1, cut your yarn long, and then pull it through that chain 1, pull tight, and there is our snout. So now I want to make nostrils and I want to add a nose ring. The nose ring's optional, but I'm going to add a snout just by embroidering with black yarn. So what I'm going to do is take my yarn needle and some black yarn, okay, and I'm just going to yarn my needle with that black yarn, okay, and then I'm going to go in from the inside of the snout, and I'm going to go on one end here and in, and then over to this side. Oh, there we go. That was kind of difficult. And then back in. Okay, so that looks good. Awesome. And then on the inside here, I'm going to cut this yarn because that was attached to the ball of yarn, and I'm just going to tie these 2 strands in a knot on the inside of this snout. I know it's difficult to see, but what I'm doing, I'm just going to put this outside, inside out real quick. Tie this in a knot. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut this short. And then you can see here that we have our nostrils. Cool. Now I want to make a nose ring, but that is optional. So what I'm going to do is take my crochet hook, make a slip knot, and I'm just going to chain 11. You can chain as much as you want, however big you want your nose ring to be. Just yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Cut your yarn long for sewing, pull it through, pull tight. And then what we're going to do, super simple, take the one end that had the long strand that you started your slip knot with, and yarn your needle with that and stick it right into one nostril, like into the yarn and into the inside. Okay. And then take the other end that you cut long, and we're going to yarn that and put it through the other nostril and the inside. Okay. Then you can shape it how you want it to look. How cool. Okay, and then we want to tie this in a knot. I actually looked it up on Google because I wasn't sure if females, because I'm making a female cow because it has udders, but I wasn't sure if they actually had nose rings, and they actually do sometimes, to prevent them from getting in kind of a tussle with the other cows. I'm learning quite a bit about cows today, making this cow, but there is a cute little nose ring. It comes down like that. Awesome. Now we can grab our head here, and I'm actually going to stuff this, and then I'm going to sew this to the bottom half right about here. Okay, and we're going to sew this on exactly how we sewed on the other pieces on the body, like similar to these udders. We're just going to go in and out of the head, and then once I have this attached, we can add safety eyes, and we have to make the ears next. Alright, so I just attached the snout. I have one eye attached. I got these safety eyes on Amazon, so I'll link them in the description of this video, but I just stab it where I want it to go in between the stitches, and then I take this back here, and I just like go inside with this side facing the spoke and just shove it on. Okay, I know I'm gonna be using my fingers to feel around for it, so you won't see that, but just know that that's how that works. So that, and then I just push it together. But if you want to crochet the eyes just for safety, if you're gonna be giving this to like a baby or a child that is gonna put this in their mouth, but that should stick on. They just gotta snap it. And it's hard to do that. There we go. There. So they're both on securely. Cool. There's the nose ring. Oh my god, this looks so awesome. Okay, so now I just want to add ears because this cow is like so not. Oh my gosh, look at it. Okay, zoom out, yeah. Sorry, I can't stop laughing. This is so funny. Okay. This looks awesome. I'm super proud of this piece right now. It needs ears though. So I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to grab my black yarn and we'll make the ears. Alright, I have my black yarn for the ears. You can make your ears at whatever color you want them to be. Make a slip knot, and we can start. So let's start out by chaining 2. Now if you wanted to start with the magic ring, you can do that as well, but I'm just going to start by chaining 2 here, and we can work in continuous rounds. We are going to put 4 single crochets in the second chain from the hook right here, so put 4 single crochets in there. We want our ears to be pointy, so we're going to start out with a very less for round 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to insert our stitch marker. I just have a piece of yarn here. Okay, and we are going to, for round 2, put 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So right here is my first stitch. If you need to count back 4, do that. And I know black yarn is very difficult to see, sorry. So we're going to go and put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and just put 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, just 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then in the last stitch, just put 1 single crochet. So in round 2, we actually increased to 6 stitches around. Okay, now going on to round 3, I'm kind of shaking this out so it makes a form. You can see the formation there. Moving the stitch marker up. In round 3, we are putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So no increase for round 3 here. We will have 6 single crochets at the end of round 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. My stitches are so dark. 5 and 6. Awesome. Okay, going on to round 4, it says to increase to 12 stitches. So we are going to move our stitch marker up and we are going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So 1 and 2 in that next stitch there. Hop to the next stitch, put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You'll have 12 single crochets at the end of round 4, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Alright, I just finished round 4 there. I just increased to 12 stitches around, moving my stitch marker up. Rounds 5 and 6, we are not increasing, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rounds here. So round 5 is just 1 single crochet around, and round 6 is 1 single crochet around for 12 stitches on each round. Then when I come back, we'll decrease for round 7. Alright, just finished round 5 and 6, moving my stitch marker up. We're going on to round 7. We are going to decrease back down to 6 stitches. So we are going to single crochet 2 together. So go into this first stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So we're going to do that 6 times. So go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So that's our second one. We're going to have 6 of these at the end of this round here. So here's my third one. Okay, I'm halfway there already. So single crochet 2 together. Here's fourth one. Single crochet 2 together. Here's our 5th one. And our last stitch right here, back to the beginning, single crochet 2 together. Fabulous. Going on to round 8, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So go into each stitch, just put a single crochet in each stitch around. That'll be 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. I lost my loop here, sorry. 5 and 6. And now we are done with the ear, so we are going to fasten off. So slip stitch into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through, chain 1 and cut your yarn long for sewing, pull it through and pull tight. Grab your stitch marker out of the way, stretch this out, point it to make it look like an ear, flatten your piece. If we do not stuff our ear here, I'm going to shove this little strand into the inside there. Okay, flatten the ear. And you want to make 2 of these, so you have 2 ears exactly the same. Then you're going to grab your cow head, and we're going to attach them on the sides, kind of on the side of the head. Okay, I feel like this would make it look kind of weird. we're gonna attach them on the side like this. And if you wanted to add horns, you could, but females don't have horns. So I'm going to attach these exactly how I sewed on the legs to the body. Okay, so once I have those attached, then we can attach the head to the body. Alright, I just attached both ears and they look great. So now we can attach the head to our body and then our cow will be complete. I'm so excited about it. So what I'm going to do, I know I cut 2 long strands for sewing, but I'm just going to shove one of the strands into one of the pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to shove the body piece in there and then I'm going to sew the head to the body. So I'm going to take the long strand we cut from the head and yarn my needle with that, and we're going to position this onto the body where it needs to be. So, oh my god. Don't lose your head. And we're just going to whip stitch this, okay? So we're just going to go around. Sorry, I'm trying to show you here. There. Just going to go around and around. Now I'm going to go around until I have like 3 stitches left, and then I'm going to stuff the rest of this so that the head doesn't get all like wobbly and weird on the body, if that makes sense. So since there's 12 stitches on each piece, it should line up, and just sew it pretty tightly to the piece just like this. So I'm just whip stitching it. How awesome. I'm so excited for this cow to be done. This was such a fun piece to make, and there was a lot of pieces and there was a lot of sewing, but it just turned out so fabulous. I'm obsessed with it. Oh my goodness. It is the cutest. So I just want to make sure that my head is on straight. Oh, my strand here got lost. There we go. Yep, it's on straight. But you can see it's like not stuffed all the way, so I want to make sure that I'm stuffing it enough and that the head isn't gonna like be wonky or wobbly or anything. So I have a few stitches left there. I'm going to grab some polyfill and kind of just stuff away until it's to my liking. Here. So you can see the head is like wobbly, so I just want to make sure that there's enough in the neck area and in the body and the head to support this head here. How cute. And then I'll just continue sewing. There we go. Almost done. And last stitch. Cool. That is adorable. Oh my goodness. I love this. Okay, so now we're going to make a knot. So I'm going to go under a few of the stitches. Again, keep my finger in the loop, come back through the loop, and pull tight. And I'll do that twice, just to keep it safe and secure. And then shove this back into the body. And then cut any extra, stretch it out, and there is our cow. How adorable! I love it so much, you guys. Oh my god. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this. I'm so obsessed with it. And look at this. It sits on its own. La. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this adorable cow amigurumi. This was so much fun. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing all the yarn for this project. Big thank you to my dad who's filming the whole tutorial. And editing it and posting it up on YouTube for everybody. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Check out all the links in the description of this video. for the written pattern, free on my website, for my socials, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those places. And make sure if you make this cow, I would love for you to see, to hashtag YARNutopia, to tag me in your pictures. This was so awesome to make, and I love this piece so much. Thanks for watching. Happy hooking!